there. So, let's see. I think last time we left off, I had the basic relay stuff going, and today I'm going to work on hopefully trying to get the the full relay, or most of the relay firmware up and going. Um, I noticed after the stream, after I let the firmware just kind of sit there for a while, that after like 20 or 30 minutes, it would just lose connection. So one of the devices is locking up, which means there's some kind of problem in BBQ or the ESB code or literally anywhere in the firmware. I want to try not to dig too deep in that and just pretend that everything's okay, because there's a couple ways to handle that, and one means that I spend a lot of time digging in and trying to figure out what makes the device lock up, which is probably not super interesting to watch. Although if you find that super interesting, I guess let me know. I'm keeping an eye on the Matrix chat and the YouTube chat, so say hi in either of those if you'd like, or let me know if you have any questions. But otherwise, I'm just going to try and pretend that everything's okay and keep working on the firmware, and at some point I will probably I don't know, at some point I'll go back and figure out why. Hopefully while I'm building other stuff it just becomes apparent. But you know, what are you going to do? So I'm going to keep working on that and hopefully get to the point where I have that. So now I have this running, and like every 6 seconds, let's bring my laptop a little closer. You can see that all the relay LEDs turn on and all the relays turn off, and that's because I have over here my pretending to be the PC sending commands every 6 seconds to turn all the relays on and all the relays off. I guess I made it a little different than what you saw last time. I don't actually remember where I left off. But yeah, I started breaking some stuff up, putting it in I connected up a real, I guess maybe I did that last time. I have a real clock now. I don't remember if I did that on stream. I did it a little bit after the stream last time. Surprise. But yeah, what am I going to do? I guess I'm going to start figuring this out once I have things kind of basically figured out. Then I'll start making the desktop application for my PC, and then hopefully I can deploy the first one of these. Deploy, strong words. Basically just setting one of these up and having it control my lights instead of a Raspberry Pi, which is what I've been using. I'm actually going to shrink this a bit because I'm hoping that if I make this smaller, I run into problems sooner, just in case it is that. So let's only give it a 1K outgoing buffer and a 1K incoming buffer. Well, no, that might not be big enough. Well, let's give it a 2K outgoing buffer, and hopefully we should drain through the packets pretty quickly, because I think now I'm polling the radio every 10 milliseconds or something like that. Yeah, I guess that's the thing that I need to solve today mostly, is figuring out what the structure of my program is, how I dispatch messages, how I process incoming and outgoing messages, things like that. Because right now I just have one busy loop that's doing everything, and I don't know if that's what I actually want. So. I guess, I've got a timer. I'm trying to think. I guess at some point I wanted to learn how to use RTFM's timer cues, maybe, because then I can schedule things. Let's see. That's probably what I want, is I want that to do the scheduling for me, and then I can just schedule things. Tell you what, let's we've come to the boring part of the stream where I'm going to read docs because, hey, thanks for coming to the stream. So this is RTFM, soon to be RTX docs. So I want to go look at timer queue. Spawn API, which immediately spawns a software test, and schedule. Schedule API can be used to schedule a task to run sometime in the future. To use the schedule API, a monotonic timer must first be used using the monotonic argument of the app attribute. The argument takes a path to the type that implements the monotonic trait. The associated type instant of this trait represents a timestamp in arbitrary units. So I can definitely use my real-time clock that I've already built in here to get to implement this monotonic trait. And this has been a problem for some other people, because the one that they provide by default is based on the cycle counter, which is built into the debugging hardware, which on some chips just isn't activated if you don't have a debugger attached, particularly the NRF52, which I'm using. So if you use it like this, it will work when you are connected to a debugger, but then when you are not connected to a debugger, then it just literally never changes from 0. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think this is what I'm going to want. So I'm going to use RTFM. So the first thing I think I need to do is I need to implement the instant trait. Instant must be assigned values, such as I32. Well, I can just cast my U32 into an I32, right? I don't know how it handles rollover, whether I can just cast to a U32, but you know. Well, let's go ahead and implement this in my timer. So let's use our TFM monotonic, and let's impl monotonic for rolling RTC timer. Measurement of this clock. So I guess type instant is going to be I32, I guess. I guess I'm also going to need fraction, I suppose. Ratio. Well, the NRF52 is always 64 million. So I guess this would be 32,768 divided by 64,123,123. Cool. Yeah, you're not gonna divide evenly, are you? What is 64 million by 32,768. Fraction reducer. Because I can't do math. Numerator 32,768 divided by 64, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Are you not going to let me type that many numbers in? Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Reducer. Wolfram alpha. Reduce 32,768 divided by 64 million. Okay, so it's 8 over 15,625. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. What is the fraction? Numerator, denominator. Fraction. Numerator is 8. Denominator is 15,625. Note, this is the ratio between the LF clock 32.768 kilohertz and the HF clock 64 megahertz. Okay, so ratio now returns self-instant. Self.time.load ordering. Acquire as I32. I'm not entirely sure that this is acceptable. Now needs to return the current time. Oh no! You require me to not have access to the actual ugh. Which means I have to do this in a much grosser way. Let's move you into here, and then I suppose you just RTC store, and then in main I'm gonna have to change all the news to okay, so I guess instead of self, I'm just going to do RTC store. Why is it complaining? Associated type an impl without body. What do you mean? Oh, right. I just have my syntax wrong. Cool. So reset would be store ordering release, no, release Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, that was in the right place. And then this is just going to be 0. Okay. So that should still work. So now I have a timer queue. This is all kind of gnarly because it's all based on, one semi-global variable. But what are you going to do? Alexandru is asking, hello, what are you building? What I'm building is... Let me pull this up. So I'm building a kind of home network for myself where I write the software for all the devices. So it's basically a bunch of embedded systems that control some stuff around my house, and then one little embedded system that's plugged into my computer to talk to the rest of them. What I'm building specifically right now is a kitchen or a plant light controller. So I have a wireless microcontroller that's going to be plugged into a relay board, and that controls some LEDs that light my plants up. So specifically, I'm basically building a wireless relay controller right now, based on kind of a totally self-built network and things like that. So the details are up here. I've got this repo, Home Fleet. This is where I'm working on this currently. Yeah. The plan is to also have a couple of other things, like I've got a little BlackBerry style PDA. I don't have it in here. It's in the other room. But the idea is that if I want to just throw random sensors into my house, I have kind of like a platform that I can just kind of copy and paste and write the one driver for the specific device. But yeah, the first one I'm building is a plant light. Let me pull up I probably have some pictures of it. See stuff that I've posted on my Twitter. So here's the little BlackBerry that I have. This was hardware built by Arturo182, who builds some really awesome stuff. This has got an NRF52 hanging out of the back of it that you can't see, but I want a little PDA that I can carry around my house. Also running an NRF52. Here's it drawing some pixels. Here's my plant shelf. So it's just like an IKEA shelf with red and blue LEDs and stuff like that. And under here, there's a little relay box right now that has a Raspberry Pi driving it, but it's, here's the relay box. So I've got a 12-volt power supply, a 5-volt power supply, relays, and right now there's a Raspberry Pi. And essentially I'm replacing this with an NRF52 instead of a Raspberry Pi. And then not shown here is the wires that go to there. I'm trying to think if this is generally the idea behind the shelf, is that I have plants here. But yeah, I actually have a picture of it with the very purple LEDs that it has. There you go. Gives you an idea of the scale, in that that's probably like 2.5, 3 meters tall, and there's my dog staring at it. It's very, very purple. But yeah, that's what I'm building right now. So hopefully that answers your question, Alexandra. Yeah. So right now I have, this. So now I should be able to schedule stuff. So now let's go back in the docs. What's my rollover again? 2 to the 32nd. Divided by 32,768, divided by 60, divided by 60, divided by 24. So I get about a day and a half. So I can schedule tasks up to a day and a half out. I don't know if it needs to be signed or something like that. So maybe it's like 3/4 of a day out, but I don't think I'm going to be scheduling stuff more than, I'm going to be scheduling stuff like 10 milliseconds in the future. So, yeah. I'm going to have to find some sacrificial interrupts. So let me switch that over to having the task that processes message is trying to think what the best way, because like I can either have my ESB application shared with a bunch of different tasks so that anyone can send from it. That might screw up. Well, nothing's high priority except for the radio itself, which is often running, and um, yeah. So the radio has its own priority. The radio, these are the high priority ones because these are like responding to like high priority radio things. So everything else is actually kind of on whatever schedule. So I'm actually not too worried about that. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess I'm gonna have um, software tasks. What am I gonna have? I'm gonna have like the periodic radio poll send. I'm gonna have periodic periodic not even periodic, like a scheduled LED relay timeout. Can we reschedule if some other event happens? Maybe send immediately. What else? I mean, there's really only relays and radio. Like, this isn't a super complex embedded system. There's basically just like listen to the radio, process incoming messages, update the relays. Eventually, the relays have like a timeout. I'm gonna make it so that if the relays don't hear a command every 30, 60, 90, 10 minutes or something like that, they shut off just so like it doesn't get stuck on. And if like my server locked up and didn't tell the lights to turn off, it wouldn't cook my plants over the weekend or something like that. So yeah, where's the scheduled? Because pen does is it now plus period dot cycles. So I guess when they say cycles, I don't know if their definition of cycles is the same as ticks. Because my ticks are 32 kilohertz, and cycles would be really different. Well, I guess we can find out. Because I have... Let's see. What's the best way to do this? I can replace this with the... There we go. Get rid of some magic numbers. I'm just going to assume that it's ticks. Okay. Then let's have our... And I'm going to have on-demand update relays. I guess you do on-demand send, but there's no real reason to do that. I'll just share the ESB app with a bunch of different tasks. So I'm going to have like 3 tasks. These are all software tasks, so let's go set up. I guess what I need to do is docs.rs/nrf52832hal. Let's go find 3 interrupts I'm not going to use. Okay, I'm not going to use sacrificial hardware interrupts. How does it say to do this? It says to do extern C fun what am I not going to use? I'm not going to use the quadrature encoder. I'm not going to use well, I guess I could just use the Squeeze, because I'm not actually using Squeeze here because I'm not using the soft device. So let's just sacrifice the Squeeze because I'm not actually using those for anything. Which is funny because I'm actually essentially using them as software interrupts. So cool. Cool. So now I have my sacrificial one. So now let's make a fun relay timeout. I have my fun RX periodic relay periodic fun relay command. What are you going to complain about? You're probably going to complain that these aren't actual things, but I probably need to say that these are tasks. Software tasks. Let me go read this because I can't remember exactly. 3 software tasks that run at 2 different priorities. I guess you really only need 1 per priority level. But whatever, I have 3. Through the scheduled variable. So these can both schedule foo. Okay. So this is going to be a task. Schedule equals, it can reschedule itself. Periodic. And relay command is just a task. I don't think I'm actually going to need to schedule it. Like, I think this is just going to be like a send a message to a software task kind of thing. And I am going to have resources. What are you going to have? You're going to have whatever I called relays. I guess relays. I don't know if I need anything else. Resources is going to be ESB app. And relay periodic. You're also going to have resources equals relays. Are you still happy? Why do I have so many unused imports? Plant light main. Huh, I have a lot of unused imports. Let's go clean that up. Why are you... A monotonic timer must be specified to use the schedule API, right? That's probably why it's unused, because it's not expanding the macro. So monotonic equals rolling RTC timer. Is that how you specify that? Cannot find. Create timer. That seems to be much happier. Oh, and it's going to complain now because I have I have to like lock these or something now. What does the locking interface look like? What do you want from me? Oh, interesting. What do you want? Well, I guess what I really should do is I should move this all out of the... Well, no, you're still going to need... Okay, software task. What do you... Resources. Lock. Okay, so you do it in a scope. Rad. So this goes until we have none. So let's do our... Actually, let's do this outside of the loop. And we'll just drain the whole loop while we're at it. So I'm not locking and unlocking it a ton. Because we're going to delay for 10 milliseconds anyway. And then relays need to get locked, but I'm not going to do that here yet. So we're just going to comment that out for now. Yep. Unused stuff, that's cool. See if anyone's saying anything in chat. Nope, no one's saying anything in chat. That's good. Okay, so now I need to figure out the whole like software tasks and message queues, message passing. Okay. The command is going to be, what is the type of my Fleet ICD radio? The command is going to be a plant light host message. Cool. This is going to be I guess I probably already had that included. Is it going to complain? Capacity, I'm probably going to have to tell it. Message capacity of 1. I don't know what my capacity needs to be, so I'm just gonna give it a bunch in case we get a bunch of commands in a row. So capacity, I guess 4 is probably pretty good because I only have 4 relays, so the chances of me, let's give it 5 just in case. So capacity 5, so I'm gonna get some messages, and then what do I do here? I think this is basically set relay if let, what is it, plant light host message, set relay state equal. See, am I dropping frames or something? I appear to be dropping frames. Well, I'm going to take a break and figure out why I'm dropping frames, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay. Turns out I was connected to the access point in my living room and not the one that's like 3 meters behind me, which is why my Wi Fi wasn't great, which is why I was dropping frames. So I'm back now. But yeah, where am I? I'm working on tasks. Make sure I'm not actually muted. Not muted. Good. Okay. So the relay periodic is basically just gonna. What is my context.resources dot relays dot what's the relays? Doot. Check timeout. And then I just need to reschedule myself. So how often should it check that? Maybe like once a second. It doesn't need to. Where's the reschedule thing? Timer queue. I thought I had to enable a feature for timer queue, but maybe that's not behind a. Maybe that's not behind a feature anymore. ctx.schedule.relay periodic now dot or ctx.start plus I don't know ticks per second plus I guess just ticks per second. What does it think about that? Context.start, no field start on scheduled. No, do not call instant. No, it will return a nonsense value. Oh, this is just in init. So I guess normally when you reschedule stuff, instant now. Okay. I guess really needs to be rolling RTC timer now. And it's going to tell me that I don't have the trait in scope, which is cool. No, am I not using? What did I had it in here. RTFM monotonic. Oh, I guess it's the monotonic, not the instant. Okay, now what do you think of that? I32. Okay. Don't understand why I use a sign number, but I guess it's so you can subtract, I guess. Let's see, what do I do on RX periodic? I probably actually want to receive. match rad receive. ctx.resources.esbapp.receive. None. I'm just gonna do nothing. I guess I probably want to do this in a loop, actually. So instead of stealing that, let's grab the whole loop. Because, yeah, let's just process all the incoming messages when I have them. This is going to be, what is it? ctx.resources.esbapp.receive. Cool. I guess this doesn't need to be. Some RX message host to device plant light. Let's get rid of this, and then I'm going to, let's see, this can schedule now relay command. So this is going to be like context dot schedule dot, how do I schedule other tasks? Schedule dot relay command. But I guess it's not schedule. I just want the software task, so I don't really want to schedule it. I want to spawn it. Okay, so it's not going to schedule this, but it is going to spawn equals relay command. Spawn dot relay command. And I need to send it probably whatever M is. Cool. So whenever you get a message, we'll send it over to unprocessed. And then I should probably reschedule myself. Equals timer tick sign ticks per second divided by 100? Sure. Roughly 10 milliseconds. I probably, like, if I haven't sent a message in a while, I should probably send, like, a hello tick or something like that, because the way that this radio works is the server side can basically only respond to messages. So if I haven't sent anything, then I should probably let's see, this doesn't know anything. PTX. Does this have the timer? I guess it has to, because does it hold on to the timer? Self current tick. Is current tick? Ah. Pub function tick since last tx self. Let's see. Current tick, and then how do I store my last RX tick? I guess I don't really store my last because the tick is current tick. Should I store when my last tick was? It's probably useful. Last tx tick. Well, actually, let's only do that on success. So only if we actually self dot, let's see, the current time minus the last time. So self dot tick dot, well, self dot current tick dot wrapping sub self dot last tx tick. If I32 is greater than interval ESB app dot send what am I using as my garbage nothing message? Initialize session, I guess. I need a better one. Why am I pending RTC0? That seems like a terrible... seems like a thing that I was doing during debugging that I don't need to do anymore. Greater than... maybe not every interval. Message 0 dot okay. Well, let's keep matching on it. Boop, boop, boop. This block is empty. I want it to be empty. Ah, there it is. Cool. So now if it's been like... I guess every 10 milliseconds we'll look for incoming, and then every 50 milliseconds we'll give the other side time to... Wow. Divided by 50 milliseconds. It's gonna be that divided by 5, so it's 20. Well, why don't I just... Why am I doing this? Tixin/tx is greater than pull PRX interval. So if I haven't sent anything in the last 50 milliseconds, then send like a proactive ping. So then my relay commands are going to do what they're going to do. I guess the interval is... Oh, right. I need to reschedule it. So that's going to be ctx.schedule rx periodic. Zephyr apparently has its own BBQ. So Jonas is saying in the chat that Zephyr has his own version of a library that I wrote called BBQ. But to be honest, my library BBQ is based off of an older concept called bit buffers. So chances are that this is just based on bit buffers. Especially since I think this code existed before, yeah, probably existed before BBQ did. But yeah, the old Bitbuffers repo is super old. Well, maybe 5 or 10 years old. But yeah. Okay. So I should actually probably spawn error. So init really doesn't need to do much anymore. Probably just like Cortex M ASM WFE. I can never remember whether you use WFI or WFE. You don't need anything anymore. Because we are truly reactive now. Can I have an idle without the context? I cannot. Source main, get rid of delay MS, which makes sense, and I don't need the invic anymore. So I wonder... let's just make this. Just in case we... So I have relay commands, so it'll update relays. So I think this should just work now. So what we're going to do is we're going to cd office hours fleet embedded PC modem cargo embed release cargo embed release. So we're sending, I'm not seeing any receiving here. Which is interesting. I have someone sending me messages on Matrix. But okay, I'm probably like, it's WFE, I wonder what's going on here. So let's get back to give you resources equals timer. CTX dot resources dot timer dot delay ms 500 u16 r print line Let's give it 1,000. Still alive. Delay MS, right, because I don't have the... Boop. Although, I think the last time I did this is it put the... Yeah, I put it there for some reason. I don't know what you're doing, but this is where that goes. I wonder if I have to schedule all of these tasks. I probably need to like schedule all of these to start. So let's init. They talk about scheduling init. So init, let's spawn equals probably my periodic tasks. So relay periodic and RX periodic. Relay periodic, RX periodic. And let's go ahead and at the very end, let's go ahead and is it context? Yeah, init context dot spawn dot RX periodic. I think it's just that context dot spawn dot relay periodic, probably dot okay. Because I'm probably not actually pulling my radio ever, which means it's just going to sit there filling up. Well, now it's not even saying that it's still alive, which is, you know, a thing. So I wonder why you are not going. Init spawn foo unwrap. Foo spawn bar. Where are you? Are you just going through a big old loop, or R print line pre-spawn? Okay, so it does get post spawn, but it never even gets to oh, there's my outgoing queueful, which is cool. All my devices are having problems now. Let's go ahead and stop you, because I don't particularly need you to exist. So why are you never going to idle? I don't know why you never go into idle. That's kind of a bummer. Why would you not make it to... So if I get rid of these... Okay. So spawning causes it to panic. Well, it doesn't panic, though. Because if it panicked... Boop, boop, boop. I bet you it's just sitting in one of these, just like over and over and over again. So it enters Rx periodic, which means it's probably sitting in this loop for forever, which seems interesting. Okay. What you doing? Okay, we're gonna break out the debugger. Okay, we're gonna set a breakpoint at 248. Okay. So now we're walking through get current tick. What? Settings of your... Where are we even? We're in macros is where we are. Okay, we're going to instead run in not release mode. So I have a chance at debugging this, although I think, yeah. Where do I want? I want to go into B279. Okay. Yes, we load. There's one. That makes sense. Guess that's the priority. Is this all magic and macros that I don't? Why are we splitting a producer and a consumer? RTFM, what are you doing? So I guess this is releasing the priority. And then it just like never goes again, I guess, is a thing that it's not gonna do. I mean, I had a timer that the RTC. Okay, who else is using RTC timer? RTC tick. Fair. What is the timer? Just get current tick, I think. Just want to make sure my RTC is actually running, because boy, I would feel silly if it wasn't. Probe was not found. What? Oh, right. Right, and we're not doing anything because we've spawned, which I still don't understand. It's like it never returns from that interrupt. Like, it's just sitting there waiting for forever. So, I mean, like, if I do something like as F32 divided by 32768.0, let's just get a I mean, like, they got a little bit of drift, but not a lot of bit of drift. But I guess that makes sense. It's a delay. So this is probably just the accumulated time error. But, you know, pretty accurate. So my tick is definitely ticking. Don't know why. What is my tick, interestingly? Or my timer 0, priority 3. Okay, so that's pretty... no, I want my RTC tick. Priority, let's make sure you're priority 2. And then, because I wonder if it's just taking priority over that, and then my timer just never ticks. Why it's blocking, I'm not sure, but... Okay. So now we never make it back to a knit, but... So I wonder if it is really doing cycles. Because it's only ticking once a second, which is really weird that it's entering RX periodic every... Like, because it should be getting in here... every... like 100 times a second. And it's almost exactly a second, which seems absurd because it's also like... And we're also never hitting... Oh, do we have any RTFM experts in the room? Because I haven't played around with this and I don't know what I'm doing that's incorrect. Because it's never receiving any messages. And it's entering this every second. And like, it's scheduling for it, but like it's not actually showing up until a second later. What if I get rid of you? Is it just not liking? Is there some kind of like lock in the R print line that's... It's still like once per second, which is baffling to me. Because, like, I'm very definitely scheduling myself for... Okay, well, I'm going to take a quick break and figure out what the heck is going on with timer queues. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I figured it out. I read the docs wrong. Let me. So I realized that it says the monotonic clock times fraction equals system clock. And I had that backwards. This used to be, well, I tried 101. So I had it backwards. So I had my fraction upside down. So now I bet when I do, let's get rid of all of these prints because I have way too many now. Relay CMD, and I probably should have had that in the relay periodic. And then I don't need it here. I don't need it here. I don't need it here. I don't need this. I don't need this. I also realized I probably should be using context.scheduled instead of now because that gets rid of drift. And let me just, whenever there's a R print line, because this is only every 10 times a second, sending quiet. So now it should be like every 10 times a second. And my relay periodic's like once a second, which looks pretty good. Let me get rid of this because I know this is working. Let's take this down to 5 seconds. Yeah, that's like every second. That looks good. And let's get rid of this because that pulls in a lot of floating point that I don't necessarily need. Okay, so now let's make sure we're still alive. And I don't need the monotonic trait anymore. Cool, cool, cool. So now I should be sending. Oh, I see relay command. Yeah. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 relay commands. Oh, look at that. All right, I should RTFM scheduling. So I think that's actually pretty close to done. The only thing that I need to do is I probably need to set up a watchdog of sorts, which there actually is a watchdog in the NRF52 HAL. So I should probably just, like, if it hasn't heard from anything, it should just yeah. I wonder why there's so much delay in there. It's probably just because I'm only sending, so there's like 100 millisecond delay because it has to wait for the RX interval to be done. I wonder if I need that to be shorter. Let's make it 25. So if I want it 25, I need it to be 40. Yeah, that's much faster now, because now there's only a 25 millisecond delay. Because now I'm just constantly letting it know how I'm doing. Although I probably don't need it to actually be that fast. Because I don't really need to be spamming the radio. Let's undo some of my do. Yeah, what else does it need to do? It probably needs to be periodically broadcasting its state. Yeah, it probably should be. I wonder how many of these I'm actually using. So it seems that I'm only using one of them now, probably because I only have one periodic priority kind of thing. So I should probably have another one. Did my relays have like the ability to say what their states are? Current state, relay state 4. Do I have a message for that? Shelf status, relay status 4. So what is shelf status? Plant light device message. Cool. So let's have another one. And this one should be able to schedule itself. I guess I have a relay periodic already. Let's go put it up next to the relay periodic. Relay periodic's not a great name anymore. Relay status. Cool. ctx.resources.relays. What is the name of my get status or something like that? Current state. And then I'm gonna, you also require ESB app, ctx.esb resources.esb app .send. What does it need? It needs to be a device to host plant light device message status stat. I have not been known for my message brevity. And I probably removed these imports unhelpfully. Then I also have some stuff with like timers and stuff. I wonder. I'm not tracking that currently, but seconds in state. It's not returning relay status because that's not a thing that I have. It's returning relay state. Because I'm not tracking that. This is what I get for writing my interfaces before writing my actual code. Okay. So let's return a shelf status, which enabled is not going to actually be that. It's going to be a relay state. Pub fun current state. Do I have... I don't have... I'm not tracking any of that. I probably should track that. Because this also says MS, and MS isn't right. Yeah, I know. I know you don't exist. Shelf status. So you're going to be a shelf status relays. For each of you, you are going to be a relay status. Relay status. GPO is set low, relay on. Enabled is gonna be safe. Nope, safe. Enabled is gonna be enabled. Seconds in state is gonna be b self dot relays index toggle tick divided by ticks per second, seconds on lifetime is going to be 0, and seconds off lifetime is going to be 0. And then so now it's actually sending the right thing. It's a shelf status, and then you need to send a shelf status. Message. Expected a reference. Field relays is private. Wow. Now it's not. Cool. And I got them both plugged in. Oh, and I never schedule this, so that's actually not very helpful. CTX dot schedule dot relay status CTX dot scheduled plus const interval I32 equals timer assigned ticks per second times 3 okay Olay. And well, it's getting am I not updating toggle time? Because this is going up by 5 seconds at a time when it shouldn't be, because it should reset that. So relays last toggle tick. Right, because the time and state is not the last toggle tick, it's the delta. Equals self dot, how do I get tick? Timer dot get current tick dot wrapping sub last toggle tick Because now the seconds in state should always be like about 6, 5 or 6, depending on. Or, yeah, between 5 and 6, because it's not totally in sync with each other. So, yeah, it'll go 1, 4, and then it actually toggles. Okay, that makes sense, because it's every 3 seconds and then 6. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay. So now I'm sending the status. I don't have the lifetime on, lifetime off, but yeah, maybe I just won't have that for now. Let's just get rid of that for now. Cool. So now it's going to be 2-5 because that's just the interval that we have. So now I need. Yeah, I probably just want the watchdog where, like, if I receive a message, then I tickle the watchdog, and if not, then we're done. So let's set that up, because I know we have a watchdog in here. I'll target. I thought there was a watch. Well, we have a watchdog, but I thought someone had written a driver for it. I thought I had used the watchdog. Implementers. I thought we had. WDog? No? Was that on a. Oh, that might have been on a different device. That might have been in the STM32F1. So I could write a software watchdog. Or was that in the. Okay, yeah, I guess it's not implemented. That's a bummer. I don't feel like implementing that today. So what we're going to do is, do we have PTX? Do I have last RX tick? Yeah, I guess I could get the last RX tick. Because that's based on. So I think also in my RX periodic, I will if ESB const reset interval U32 equals timer ticks per second times. It's been a minute. If ESB app.ticks since last RX is greater than reset interval. Here I'm going to do SCB reset. Well, I'm just going to do a panic. So I'm hearing some messages, so I'm going to unplug my modem. So that's like 15, 20 seconds, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50 something. I don't know. I lost count. We should be resetting pretty soon. Okay, so then it rebooted because it said it panicked, it's quiet, too quiet, and then it reset. Cool. So that's my sort of a watchdog. Let's plug this back in. So now I've got LEDs on. So I want to make sure that when the watchdog kicks, it decides to turn the LEDs off. Probably should have, for testing, I probably should have made it less than 60 seconds. Yep, and my LEDs are all off, which is good. If I plug this in, then it'll send. Yep, and my LEDs are back on. Cool. What else do I need to do? I need to actually get my application that talks to the server up and going. But that's going to be a much bigger thing. Yeah, I think that might be it for the day. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. By the way, video is a bit delayed. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess versus the audio. Yeah. Yeah. But I think I'm about done for the day. I've been going for a couple hours now. So thank you everyone, or 2.5 hours. Yeah, I might still go fool around with a couple things, but I'm pretty happy with that as a stopping point. And I think in the next one, if I haven't done it off stream, I'm gonna end up writing the little application that sits on the PC and talks to my device. But actually, probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I needed to get the server that talks to the device. Um, and then I'm going to, yeah, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some stuff. But yeah, I'll probably get this wired up. I'm interested in getting it up and going. Um, and then I'll get this. I'll probably get the server thing going. What I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna go immediately plug this into my cabinet, and then make sure that it can actually toggle the relays. And then I'm gonna make the server application. Right now, I'll probably just manually control um, the relays. Like I'll plug in the radio and run a manual command to do that. Um, but yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. But not tonight because it's like 11:30 on a Saturday. So I may be back tomorrow. If not, I'll probably stream sometime this week. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for everyone who left comments, and I hope you all have a good weekend.